Up next is a head coach who is about to enter his 25th year here at Bentley University. He has led 2 teams to NCAA Final Four appearances and another to the Elite Eight. He's also led his teams to 5 straight NE10 regular season championships from 2005 to 2009. Please welcome head men's basketball coach Jay Lawson.
Good evening. I'm thinking that team idea is good. I think the guys in the back over there will appreciate it because it would be the first team that Nate's not the oldest person on. Actually, you might be the youngest person since you're a 2008 grad, but we say might. Nate always was the old guy on our team as he grew for a couple different reasons that I can explain. I'm going to start with trying to explain to everybody about our inductee, the beginning, and how oftentimes with all parts of life, luck is a big, big factor. So here I go. We had a commitment from a recruit that we really liked for about 4 months when Nate was in prep school. We thought we were done with recruiting, and behind our back, right around the end of April, this recruit, before we got to the signing period, snuck around and switched to a Division I school. So we were done with the recruit, and it was time to scramble. And we actually had seen that kid play in an all-star game the night before we found out about this, so we scrambled and said, hey, how about that skinny kid that was on the other team? Let's see if he's picked a school yet. I know he's at the Hun school, and he's waiting on Division I. Let's call his coach to find out if we can maybe get involved with him. So sure enough, we called, and he had yet to make a decision, and we asked him if he could get on the train from Trenton and ride up to Boston and come over to Waltham, and you'd have to try out with our guys that are old men, 22, 23-year-old men. So he said, sure, I'll come up. And he came on the train, and we had to try him out over at Waltham High School because our floor was being redone at the time. And, he did a good job. He didn't wow everybody, but he certainly looked like he had potential. And I tell you this story because, well, first of all, Nate was our second choice. I think that makes, I'm saying that. The other guy ended up becoming an All-American. He left his Division I school, went to a Division II school. He became an All-American and a National Player of the Year. And we ended up stuck with Nate. And we became like the best team in the whole country for the next 4 years. So I'm not done with the luck part. Then in the second game of his first year, he tore his ACL, and he wasn't able to play his first year at Bentley. So we ended up trading that in for a year later on, and I'll get to that. Well, the luck part begins with the next 4 years that Nate was in uniform were incredible. I really am embarrassed to try to, most of it's in your program. It's just silly. I just look at it and still laugh at the whole thing. There's absolutely no way that that's supposed to happen. The team success that these guys, several of them in the back over there, were able to achieve. With Nate in uniform, we were 100 games over 500. We were 117 and 17. We were ranked twice the #1 team in the country, his freshman year and his last year. Another incredible number is Nate's last 54 games against the Northeast End Conference. He won, 54 games. He won his last 54 games against the teams in his own league. Not 14, not 24, 34. He won 54, certainly along with some great teammates. And then the last crazy number is when it was time for him to be older, think the record was 66-2, including the 2 longest men's basketball winning streaks in the history of New England basketball, all divisions, that were 32. And then the next year, crazy enough, again, 34 in a row. So you talk about luck, whether it's us getting Nate as a backup or Nate picking Bentley and having it all work out fantastic. So that's the luck part there. And then player-wise, and I'll tell you briefly, just a fantastic player, just really a special basketball player. He was very athletic, he was very skilled and very smart and very unselfish, all of them. And he was a complete player. For those of you maybe that aren't basketball fans, what is a complete player? It's someone who can impact the game in every possible fashion, and he could. Could he shoot threes? Yes, he's one of the all-time leading three-point shooters. Could he post up? Yes. Could he pass? He's the only player in Bentley history with 1,400 plus points, 700 plus rebounds, and 200 plus assists. In 53 years, he's the only person. Then you go to his shooting statistics. He's the only person in the history of the Northeast 10 Conference that shot 50 from the field, 40 from 3, and 80 from the foul line, ever in the history of the whole league. So I think, yeah, pretty special. And the other part of him being a complete player is that he could do it all at the other end of the court, too. He could guard on the perimeter. He could guard the post. One year, his junior year, when we won 32 in a row, he had a partner next to him that was a 5-man. The next year, he didn't, so he played the 5 spot. So he virtually, shoot a 3, get a steal, block a shot, defend a guard, everything. However, I'm standing here before you to tell you the reason that Nate's going in the Hall of Fame is not about any of the stuff I've told you so far. See, my thing is, as a college coach, teacher, your whole goal is to help these guys and women try to mature and grow and develop, in our case, into grown men. So you evaluate them on their junior and senior years. They're not ready to be leaders. They're not ready to have a presence like a grown man until then. And that's what you evaluate people on. And there's no better example in our program than Nate, in that when he got to those 2 years, he was distinctly the leader of the team, especially the second one, and we achieved these crazy things. And I think that's what I want to finish with is, you're coming off your junior year and your 5 classmates graduate because you got hurt. And now I get back to the luck factor. He gets this 5th year when he's a grown man now. And that's where he had a presence that I really can't put into words. He was the team, everyone on the team, he was their friend. He was their teammate. He was their mentor. He was their dad. I kid you not. Like, he controlled that whole team. And special things happened. So it's really a pleasure. Nate, I'm taking a long time. I really wanted to be brief, but I don't know if this is ever going to happen again, all this fantastic stuff that you were such a big part of with your teammates. And your presence was probably the best we've ever had in regards to the impact it had on the rest of the group playing the game the right way. So Nate, congratulations. Get up here.
So I have some things written down, but I got to take issue with a couple of things Coach mentioned. As obviously I would have as the 24-year-old senior that I was, kind of talking back once in a while. I would have loved to do Division I. That would have been great. But I wasn't necessarily waiting on it. I think the bigger thing is I was waiting on something that I really liked. As it turns out, I had an offer from Stonehill on the table. I didn't like that so much. And my decision was made, actually, the train ride he mentions up to Bentley. I'd gone up to Stonehill for a visit and did the same thing, got on a train, same 4-hour trip or whatever. And they put me on the regional rail, and, takes 4.5, maybe 5, thanks to Amtrak. And I get the Bentley ticket, and it's the Acela Express. So that was it. That was it. But I'm glad he told the story of how I got here, because it was very, very lucky. Here I was, spring of my post-grad year, working your tail off to try and get a good situation for college. You don't know where you're going to go, and literally fell into this. It was, he says luck, I'll say fortunate. Incredibly fortunate I was to end up at a school that, as a school, obviously as an institution, it's phenomenal, but more specifically to my experience, the basketball program was second to none, and that started at the top with Coach Lawson. So consider myself really fortunate for that. It's going to be tough to try and go through the notes that I had, just because you hear the words that are said, and you hear the other presenters and the other inductees, and it's tough to follow up. Coach DeBrito, thanks for that, wherever you are, because I'm not going to be able to follow yours up. So and then obviously the things that are affecting the Bentley athletic family right now with Sandy's passing. So I want to just try and be brief and be thankful for all of the teammates, my family, everyone that showed up today. Thank you, everyone. I do have to kind of go maybe not one by one, because there's a lot of y'all back there, but certainly Greg and Chris, you guys, we had 4 forwards come in at the same time, and you guys did a lot to kind of teach us how to come in every day and work and shut our mouth and do what's needed to figure out how to play the Bentley way. And then all of the stats that Coach mentions and crazy records and all that stuff, it's like he said, it's crazy, it's stupid, it shouldn't happen that way. And a lot of that's due to my guys back there in the corner. When I was a younger player, give the ball to Timmy, give the ball to Sean, get out of the way, let them do their thing. When I was older, Lou, Jason, Brian, Tommy, all super talented guys. Of course, we haven't mentioned Yusef yet. Yusef's the guy that when you're in the biggest game, you give him the ball and he just goes and beats Bryant. So, I was incredibly lucky to play with a bunch of other guys that could all dribble, pass, and shoot. They were all phenomenal players, and you put all that together with a coaching staff with Coach Lawson, Coach Wentworth, Coach Durgan, Coach Perry, and I think we should have won all those games based on the talent, but it was really unique to go through that process with a bunch of guys that were as committed to come in every day and work hard and try to win. I do have to mention Brooksy up there. Obviously, I hurt my knee and did a lot of rehab with Brooks, so thank you for getting me back to health. Obviously a big part of me, staying that 5th year and being effective. I also have to thank you for getting me out of practice my entire 5th year. I know I still owe you. So thanks for that, Brooks. Coach Wentworth, I gotta mention you by name just because the incredible amount of time and effort and commitment you had to the program. To people outside of the program, it's probably completely unnoticed, but certainly to those of us that were there every day, it's something that we all recognize, so thank you for that. And then I've got a couple guys from forever ago. My brother, a couple of my guys back from North Carolina, and boarding school. So it means a lot to me that you guys are here, and I think you guys know that, and that's why you're here. So you guys are a big part of the reason I'm here. Endless games of 21 and workouts over the summer and stuff like that. So thanks. And then the guys that I was a part of, that were in my class: Andy, Danny, Josh, Matt, Jeff. We shared some incredible experiences together, basketball, college, otherwise, and we continue to. So thank you guys for being great roommates, teammates, and friends. I do have to call out the younger guys kind of here in the middle table. It wasn't Dad, it was actually Uncle Nate. was the name I was christened with. So it could have been weird as a senior, 24 years old, with a bunch of youngins, but you guys accepted me to the group and made my last year here great and much less weird than it could have been. So thanks for that, guys. I'll finish by just saying thanks to my family. Thank you all for everything. Obviously bent over backwards to drive us to games, tournaments, AAU. I'll also say thank you for not pressuring me into making any decisions. I could have made a dumb one and gone somewhere else. Instead, Bentley fell into my lap, and there's the luck thing again. So I think I'm done with the thank yous, other than thank you for everyone that I may not have named, but certainly probably helped me along the way at some point. Congratulations to all the other inductees, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.